Hey everyone, it's Gail here, and I am in today to help you lead with incredible impact. And I am talking about those days, those weeks, those months, those quarters, sometimes even those years when everything just seems to go wrong, everything you touch seems to break. You just, for some reason, just can't seem to get things going. And I had a week like that last week, actually. So I had a rubbish week last week. And I got to the end of the week and I thought, can I break anything else? So when you run your own business, often you're doing a lot of the tech yourself, you're doing a lot of the stuff behind the scenes yourself. And if that's not your core competency, that can be difficult. I don't recommend it actually. I recommend outsourcing as much as possible, but at the moment I'm doing a lot of stuff myself. And so last week was just one of those weeks where everything, I was trying to do some new things. I was trying to be cute in my emails and, missed a few steps and ended up, sending stuff to people at the wrong time. Some of the stuff I'd put in my emails wasn't working the way I'd intended it to. And, but, by the end of the week, I just thought, I suck at this stuff. I'm just not getting this right. I don't know what I'm doing. Can anything else go wrong? And then, something else did go wrong. And I remember on Friday night, I was sitting here at my desk and I was in the queue to get some support from Active Campaign, which is the mailing list provider that I use. So that's where I host all of my emails. And when I first joined the queue to get, the chat queue, I was at like number 43 or something like that. And I think I'd sat there for about 30 minutes and I was kind of moving down the queue and getting closer to the the top of the list. And I did something. I obviously was tired, frustrated, fed up, and I cut off the chat queue by mistake. And so then it bumped me back up back down to the bottom. So I was away at number 43 again, and then eventually I did get speaking to somebody, and then they got cut off by mistake, and then they bombed me back to the bottom of the queue again. And it was just, it's like, seriously, sometimes things are sent to try us, and sometimes we just feel like no matter what we do, we can't do anything right. Everything we touch breaks, and it can be really, really, really frustrating. So much so that you can end up in a negative spiral. You feel like you're rubbish, everything you do is wrong. And it also just feels like the whole world is against you. It's like there is, it's like everything is going against you. The whole world is against you. So not only do you feel like you're a failure, that you suck at everything, but everybody else thinks that too. And then you end up in this negative spiral where you end up telling yourself, well, actually they must be right, because I just can't seem to do anything right. So I want you to have a think about, okay, so when this happens, because it happens to everybody, it happens to everybody. Just because I'm a coach doesn't mean I don't have weeks like that, or days like that, months like that. And the difference with me is I have tools. So I have ways that help me get back on track quickly. So help me bounce back, help me to be resilient. And your ability to handle those tough times, to handle those moments, to handle the times when you just feel like everything is falling apart around you, it's like everything is just disintegrating. Your ability to navigate through that, bounce back and come back stronger, can in many ways define you as a leader. And so what I wanted to do today is just share some of those tips, techniques, and strategies with you that will help, because they do help, and it's not realistic to think that you're never gonna mess up again, you're never gonna fail again, nothing's ever gonna go wrong again. But how you deal with that, how you respond to that, how you react to that is everything, and really does make a difference. So here's the things. I've got some stuff written down here that I'm going to share with you. So there's about maybe 5 or 6 things I want to tell you, and I've written some notes about this in below the video. You should see that as well. So first of all, and probably the most important thing is, so when you're in that situation, when you're in that scenario where you just feel like you just can't do anything right, everything's going wrong, no news is good news, right? The first thing I want you to do is I want you to think about, okay, where am I winning? What has gone well? And it might seem a really counterintuitive thing to do that when you just feel like you suck at everything. But I really want you to be thinking about and forcing yourself to do that reframe and really stand in and look for, no matter how small, like even a tiny, tiny, tiny little win, but just look for something positive, look for the small win, look for something that has gone well, because there will be something. If you point your attention to that, if you look for it, you will find something. Find something that has gone well. Because when we focus on that and we notice that, it just starts to make us feel better. And we start to realize that actually, just because one thing has gone wrong, or even 10 things, 20 things, it doesn't mean that everything is going wrong. Okay. So look for just that small win. So, one thing that is going well, that is going right, and focus on that and notice that and write about it, journal about it. Journaling is a great way to somebody just liked my post, Lisa Donald. I don't know if she's watching or not, but she's just liked my post on LinkedIn. So yeah, write about it. So I have been journaling this week. So I started journaling over the weekend. I'm an advocate for journaling, and sometimes I'm like, do what I say, not what I do, because I don't always remember to journal. But I know that I am in a much better frame of mind. My mindset is hugely better when I journal. So that's not one of the things I wrote down in the notes, but I do advocate for that. So journal. And write in your journal, look for the things that are going well. What did I actually do well? So in the Ignite journal, there's a whole section where I say, right, what went well today, and write that down. So what went well? So look for the small wins. Secondly, self-care. And when we're miserable, when we're fed up, when we feel like we're rubbish, when we feel like we can't do anything right, we're really also good at beating ourselves up. When actually the thing that we really need to do is we need to be kind to ourselves. And those are the moments where a hot bath, candles, a massage, a glass of wine, whatever it is for you. For me, Friday night, it was a glass of red wine, hot bath, and vegging out to Netflix. Can't even remember what I watched. Maybe it was the iPlayer. I can't remember. But it was like, okay, so just practice self-care. I switched off for most of the weekend, gave myself a break, and then I came back at it on Monday, feeling a lot better and getting a fresh perspective. So getting some distance and perspective really helps, but definitely, think about your self-care. The next thing, so number 3, is I want you to look for what can you appreciate in what's happened. So the big thing for me when I think about my rubbish week last week, it actually becomes a teaching moment for me, because I can then share, with my people, my clients, okay, I'm here with you. I'm going through this with you. I'm having a rubbish week as well. But here's the thing. Here's what you can do about that. Here are some strategies and techniques. That's why I'm doing this live now. Here's what you can do. Here's what you can try. So one of those things is look for what you can appreciate. So I can appreciate that this has given me a teaching moment. What can you appreciate? What can you take from it? How is this helping you? What can you learn from this? What's good about the situation that you're in? I mean, you might have to dig deep to find something you can appreciate, but look for something that you can appreciate. And in line with that, so sometimes it's about looking for what you can appreciate. The other thing is, what can you learn? Because when we fail, so the thing that I say and that I teach is look at the word fail, FAIL, for all I've learned. Okay. And some other people say first attempt in learning. It's the same thing. What are you learning in this moment? What are you learning in this scenario, in this situation where everything has kind of fallen apart around you? What can you learn? What will you do differently next time? What does this give you? Similarly, look for an opportunity. So look for the win, look for the opportunity. What opportunity does this give you? What can you appreciate? What are you learning? What opportunity does it give you? Reframing. So I talk about reframing all the time. What is the reframe? So is it really the week from hell? Is it, is there another way to look at it? Is it, just that Something just flashed up on my screen there. I don't know what that was. Something moved that wasn't supposed to move. Is it really the week from hell? Are you painting a gloomier picture than it needs to be? What's the reframe? What's another way to look at this? What's a different perspective, a different point of view? Next, I want you to think about, right, so how long will this last? How long will the fallout, if there is a fallout, how long will the fallout of this be an issue for you? How long will it last? This too shall pass. Will it matter for a day, for a week, a month, a year? How many years? Usually, the impact isn't going to last that long. People forget, move on. That's what you need to do as well. That was last week. This is this week. We're moving on. So this too shall pass. How long will it matter? And the last thing I want you to think about, which is a nice reframe actually, and it's kind of like standing in appreciation as well. And the thing here is, I want you to realize that in those moments, so in those moments when we totally suck, in those moments where we completely mess up, in those moments where, we are not at our best and we don't show up in the way that we wanted to, and things didn't work out the way that we thought they would, in those moments, you're a survivor, okay? You are still here. You are still here. You made it, you got through it, right? If there's one thing you can appreciate, it's that you got through it. And that is a sign of strength. So despite, it gives me goosebumps actually, it's probably, this is the thing I really think you need to underline is, it's like, yeah, you had the week from hell. You had a really bad day. Your boss wasn't happy with the project that you're working on, or your pitch wasn't successful, or you had a disastrous presentation, or your conversation with your team went belly up. Whatever it is, maybe it's a combination of all of them. Maybe your tech isn't working, or whatever it is. When you just stand in, do you know what? That was a really tough week, but I'm still here. I'm still standing. I have survived. I have survived. I've survived this. I've survived things in the past, and I will survive again. And I'm stronger as a result because I've learned and I've got through it. And I'm a bigger, bolder person as a result because I now have more knowledge. I now have learning. I now have things that I didn't have before. Most importantly, I have survived. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I hope that is helpful. If this resonates with you, so if this chimes, if you think, oh, actually, gosh, that's really helpful for me, then I'd love you to come and join the masterclass that I'm doing on Thursday, the 30th of March at, what time is it at? Oh gosh, I can't remember what time it is. I think it's at 1 o'clock UK. There's a link anyway, so I've given you the link below. I should really know that. But it's a free masterclass. You can reserve your place right now. It's on Zoom, and I am going to be taking you through a whole heap of stuff like this. Is going to help you to lead with more confidence. So if you want to have more self-belief in yourself as a leader, this masterclass is for you, and I'd love you to come and join me. So Thursday, 30th of March, link to book your place or reserve your place for free is in the comments, in the text below this video. I'd love to see you there. Come and join us. If you have any questions, let me know, and looking forward to it. I will see you then.